right, live from studio. Problems out of the jump. 8 o'clock. Live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night, April 29th. Glad you're in, everybody. Real America's Voice on a Tuesday. Slick Rick's going to have sports. He's sitting right there. Rick Delgado's going to have the news. Vinnie Mac's here. He's going to have some news as well. And, of course, you live from Studio 6B audience. Glad you're in on a Tuesday. Hope you had a great day, everybody. Had a good day. Mr. Delgado, how are you?
I made it on time. That's all I'm going to say. I had a busy day.
Well, you made it on time with your own pizza here.
Well, yeah,
so
because
you had time for that.
I had time to stop and grab 2 slices real quick because I had no time for anything else.
Sorry you did it.
Yeah, now you're making me regret it. I should have just sat in my car and ate it by myself.
That would have been a good idea.
All you guys are just crapping all over me because I didn't bring some for you. Did I hear you say, hey, Rick, are you hungry? Would you like me to bring something for you to eat? No, I didn't hear that. All I hear as soon as I walk in, I hope you got slices for everybody. Where's the rest of the pie?
Well, pizza is kind of a thing around here. It's a kind of thing around this show, right, Slick? So when you go stop for pizza, you would just automatically think.
They don't have a pie ready to go. Mm-hmm. They had slices ready to go, so I grabbed a couple slices.
Right. Okay, very good.
Well, there's a couple of us here that would have liked some slices. So
I'm sure you would have.
A couple slices here that would have liked some slices. Slickster, how are you?
All right, Big D.
How was your day?
Well, I don't want to harp on about it, but you know what I'm talking about. It was a good day, Big D. Very good. I had a good day.
All right, very good. Slick will have some sports. Delgado's going to have the news. Vinnie Mac is back. He's going to have some news as well. Vinnie Mac, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I was in the parking lot with my barbecue and everything, making sausages and burgers and a London broil, which came out really nice.
Nice. Was it marinated?
That. Yeah, it's marinated London broil, baked potatoes on the grill.
Nice.
So it was all nice. And then I brought the food in here. We ate it, but it's all good. It was good.
Okay.
Well, thanks for the steak sandwich.
You know how generous I am.
Don't talk about steak sandwiches.
Let's get ready for Friday night. Wow. Speaking of steak sandwiches, man, Friday night at the America First Warehouse. And we hope to see as many of you in the reach of my voice and as possible. If you're in the Northeast, in the area, I would say if you're within driving distance, you have to make the trip here. If you can't make this Friday, you got to make a Friday.
Right.
I'd say within that 3-4 hour range, you can jump in the car.
Yeah. Yep.
Be here, spend the weekend on Long Island. There's lots to do besides see us on a Friday.
Yeah.
Plus, the weather's getting nicer.
Best rendition of actually being on the road. They've been asking us to go on the road for 5 years. Well, we're on the road, right? We're going down the block, but we're still on the road.
Yes, we're on the
We're
road.
about 10 yards from the studio.
Well, we're in a venue that you can watch us. This is, not the venue.
Yes, we're on the half-mile road. That's about half mile from the studio.
That's right. Even Harry can lead us there.
Harry could lead us there without getting lost. You can scan that QR code right there if you want to get tickets for Friday night at the America's First Warehouse. And it'll be, like I said, there'll be food, there'll be drinks, there'll be us, there'll be music, there'll be all kinds of stuff.
It's a great venue. If you love MAGA, it is a great venue. There's beautiful artwork there. There's all sorts of great Trump paraphernalia. Oh man, I tell you, I get pumped when I go in there. You know, all the signage and everything. It's like nothing you've ever seen. It's literally like a museum to Donald Trump in many ways. There's some
amazing,
beautiful, beautiful, one of a kind stuff there.
Yeah, and we'll be there Friday night and every Friday going forward from there. And we'll see if the every Friday thing is what we should be doing, or should it be the last Friday of every month? We don't know that yet. So we're going to go every Friday for at least the first 4. And then we'll kind of reconvene and take a look and see how we all feel about it. But the America's First Warehouse will be this Friday as the grand opening Friday. And we hope you join us if you can. And you can scan the QR code right there if you want to look into getting a ticket. And I think the tickets are just covering basically their cost of food and open bar and
it's
music. And
phenomenal.
There's going to be an open bar?
It's going to be great. So,
well, not for you, but there'll be an open bar.
No, you're disbarred.
yeah, exactly. You're disbarred from the place. So President Trump tonight in Michigan.
Yep.
And did you listen to it, Vinny?
I did. I was inspired, man. He's done so much. You know, that's a checklist and a half.
Yeah.
And you hear these clowns on TV saying he's done nothing. It's embarrassing. People are falling off. He's done so much. There's just more fiction. And I'm glad he's out talking about it.
Yeah, the first 100 days of the Trump counter-revolution in this country, and we hit the 100-day mark today. And I was thinking about this today and just jotting down some notes of some things I wanted to say. And I got back to what I said before the election. And that was ask yourself a simple question. Are you better off now than you were before? And in a different way, because it's not been, I looked at the numbers. We're only about 7% through the Trump second term. We've got 93.7% of it left. And are you better off? How about not only are you better off, but how do you feel about the future of, let's say, your personal finances, your job security? How do you feel about your safety of your kids, the safety of your country? How do you feel about the confidence in your future, the confidence in your kids' future, the confidence in your grandkids' future in this country? And you look at what he's done 100 days in, the Trump counter-revolution. The answer is a resounding yes. Mm-hmm. We are better off. And you look at the left and what they have had over this 100 days and the way they've acted and the way they have been out there in front of the microphone. What have they offered? Well, they offer what they always offer. They offer nothing. They offer hatred of the country, because most of them do. The founding of the country, the founders of the country, the founding documents of the country, they've offered pretty much nothing. No alternatives on anything. No alternatives on debt. No alternatives on trade. No alternatives on immigration. No alternatives, just noise. That's it. That's all they've offered.
Bad singing.
Mm-hmm.
And lunatics.
And
on the
lunacy,
left.
yes.
And violence. We've seen the Tesla people go crazy. So they offered that. That's a lot of fun. What else do they offer? Oh, basically a bunch of old people who are millionaires and billionaires telling you how to live your life.
And meanwhile, for President Trump, the wins continue to pile up. And you heard a little bit of that in Michigan tonight. I love the video he rolled there about the El Salvador getting the gang members out of here. And the first 100 days are certainly eventful, historic, but there is no doubt the next 100 days are going to be much more significant than his first 100 days in many ways. More meaningful, more significant, based on the trajectory of the administration's priorities, based on the political strategy, and, of course, the evolving domestic and international situations that the country is dealing with. But again, look back on 100 days where we are today. That's what we're doing today. 139 executive orders, 39 proclamations, 42 memorandums, all aimed at this counter-revolution of the left, all aimed at reshaping federal policy, all aimed at securing the border, imposing tariffs, reshaping the modern trade balance of the world. But if you just start somewhere, you have to start with the border. In just 100 days, President Trump has done what every expert told you could not be done. What members of Congress told you he needed Congress for. What the former president made seem like was impossible. That you needed Congress, that you needed new laws, that you needed more money, that you needed more technology, that you needed all of these things. And what President Trump has done in 100 days has completely reversed what was 10,000 people a day, 300,000 people a month, somewhere upwards of 12 million people probably in 4 years. And he has taken that and turned it into basically 0 people coming across the southern border. The border is secure. Nothing short of a miracle in what he has done in 100 days at the border. And now he pivots in some ways more consequentially to what do we do with 12 million people, many of them who are people who you, your kids, your grandkids, your relatives would not want in your neighborhoods and in your country.
This is not immigration. When people say we're a country of immigrants, yeah, we're a country of immigrants, people wanted to come here the legal way and build a better life for themselves. You mentioned that, Biden and the rest of the left said we have to have legislation and all this. Do you remember the Bret Baier interview with Kamala? She said exactly the same thing. So whether it was Biden or Kamala Harris or anybody on the left, they all had this position. And it's just a glaring fact of how they lie. I saw a stat today. 9 illegal immigrants released into the country since Trump became president for the last 100 days. 9.
Yeah.
And they were released for lots of good reasons. Witnesses for crimes that they were going to be testifying against. Some had a legitimate hardship case, so they let them in. It's not like they're just saying nobody's allowed in here. There are some that are coming in, but 9 in 100 days. It's a staggering number, even in the best of times. Like just people just sneaking in, it's a staggering number. I saw another thing that caught my eye. If we did not count illegals in census criteria now, there would be, I think it was an 18-point swing in Electoral College for New York, California, and Illinois in terms of the Electoral College votes that they get. To be 18 less. I mean, all of these things add up. Tom Holman has said it well, to a pre-planned, diabolical plot to bring people in, fly them into these cities. So we had to go work so much harder to get rid of them and to get, get them not only picked up, but go through a process to get rid of them. And all of that to change things. It's a diabolical plan. That's what the media, I cannot believe to this day, is still not picking up on this plan. They're just hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump.
What do you mean they're not picking up on it? They're picking up on it. They know exactly how to carry the water for it.
Yeah,
not talk about it, not acknowledge it. Don't give it any air. Why? Because they're in on it. We all know they're in on it. They tell us every day they're in on it.
Pretty obvious.
It's an amazing thing to watch. Once your eyes are very clear and you start to look for the way they couch things, the way they phrase things, it's amazing how much lying they do. Not only directly lying, but also the lies by omission, where they don't tell you certain things. Where the new hoax is, oh, he's deporting kids that are 2, 4, and 7. That's not what happened.
Right.
They're tailoring their message to make it look like that. And sure, those kids got deported, but why did they get deported? Because their parents got deported, and we don't break up families. Tom Holman said, we're going to deport the entire family. The parents have the option. You're bringing your kid. I think most good parents would be like, I'm taking my kid with me. I think you would applaud those parents and be like, you don't want to leave your kid out here where nobody could take care of them.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, right?
It is.
I think that's kind of a positive. But they don't want to show you that. They want to show you that, oh, my goodness, they want that picture in your head. So you get all screwy and TDS where it's a 2-year-old being marched onto a plane and dropped in the middle of nowhere and said, you've been deported.
Yeah.
That's what they want. That's the picture they're trying to paint. They don't tell you. They tell you a story, as Dan Bongino used to say, but they don't tell you the story.
Yeah. And now they're doing all these mea culpas on, was Biden, able to be president, right?
Yeah.
And they talked about it at the correspondence dinner. They talk about it. Various, left-wing pundits are talking about it. At the end of the day, like, yeah, well, maybe we could have covered it different. Yeah, maybe this, maybe that. Now all of a sudden they're coming clean. It's the same thing here.
Right.
4 years from now, that's what they'll be. It's exactly to what you said. They're going to omit it until 4 years go by, and then maybe they'll start talking about it.
Right.
No comprehensive immigration reform. No waiting for Congress. None of the things that they said he would have to do. None of the impossible things they said couldn't be done. Kicked in the door, came in, did it. Didn't wait for Congress. Didn't wait for money. Didn't wait for somebody else. Came in and did it. All right, 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. A lot more to do. We're back right after this.
My wife saw you guys on Friday night. She goes, "Where's Damon?" I said, "Oh, he must be at the Ohika with Harry."
What?
My wife saw you on Instagram or something on Saturday night. She goes, "Where's Damon? He's at a castle."
Oh, it's at Harry's house.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, right. Harry has that castle. You're right.
I posted on social media. Thanks for having me over, Harry.
Yep.
Was it White Castle or Harry's Castle?
Harry's mowing his moat.
Harry's home away from home is Ohika Castle. You have to know that.
I think he has a residency there. Hey, you still see
I said, Harry, let's go take some pictures around. I'll just post it that I'm at your house. I said, I'll get such a kick out of it. He's like waving to me on the Taylor Swift stairs where she filmed Blank Spaces.
Oh God!
Video. I'm like, Harry, step up there and wave to me. I'll just act like I'm leaving. He's like, I'm like, thanks, Sarah. Thanks for having me. I gotta go.
Oh, that's beautiful. That was a great idea.
That's a good setup.
That is a good setup.
And then I post it on Instagram, and then I go look at the post later, and I just start laughing to myself. I'm just into amuse myself, really.
Yeah, where's Damon? I said,
Ticked off Patriot, what's going on?
Wish I would have known that joke. I would have told her. He's at Harry's. Weekend at Harry's.
Weekend at Harry's.
Same thing.
That's a little short. We should shoot. Weekend at Harry's.
Yeah.
Although he's on good behavior now, we're in this recovery mode. So
Racing Banshee on X, what's going
on?
on
The food and the company.
Our friends on Kick, our friends on Rumble. Why not?
We got kicked off.
We're not on Kick.
We haven't been kicked for like 3-4 months.
Oh, wow.
What?
Remember, there was a night where it went
memo.
on and off every 10 seconds, and then you killed it and you never brought it back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, screw Kick. They suck.
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
They kicked the can down the road.
Oh, really?
Come, Farmer Brook.
Tell them we're kicking the can down the road.
Big D, JD Cushman in the YouTube chat wants to know if he can camp out in Joe's parking lot.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Tailgating. We'll put some Jimmy Buffett on. We'll get some cheeseburgers.
I think he wants to stay overnight. He wants to pitch a tent. The whole bit.
Well, that's a little strong for us. Look, I don't know if I need to know that, but this is a family show here.
No pitching tents.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about morning wood. I was just talking about he wants to stay over in the parking lot at night.
I think it's the same thing.
Family show. That's why we keep Harry off the air.
Yeah, that's it.
Best show ever. Keep it up, boys. Helps me keep the faith. All right. All right. Paul Collier and on YouTube.
That's the truth.
On the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes right there.
Can you tell I'm rested tonight?
Yeah.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday. Glad you're in. Want to say hi to everybody in the social media, wherever you're watching, especially those on Kick, X, Rumble, Getter, Facebook, wherever you're watching. Welcome on in. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel wherever you're watching. And, of course, go over to livefromstudio6b.com as well and sign up to be a member there. 6B Front Row, our loyalty program. I haven't given any points away in like a week.
I know. Squirreling them all for yourself.
No, not at all. I'm gonna give some tonight. So today would be a good time right now. Matter of fact, what time is it? 8:17. I'm gonna give points away at 8:45. And we'll see how many people sign up. If you're not signed up, it's absolutely free. Just go to livefromstudio6b.com. 8:45, the points are going out. So you have to be signed up by then to get free points. And I don't know how many I'll send. I may send a lot.
Ooh, that's a good number.
Very generous tonight, aren't you?
And then you can apply that towards. Have we released the Vinnie Mac merch yet? We have to release that.
What are we waiting for?
Have you signed off on it yet? No, of course not.
I have not seen it.
Well, it's because it's hard to get the toupee on the guy on your head on the shirt look right. So.
Yeah, well, the shirt has a removable toupee on it. You can put it on or off. It's very
exactly.
nice.
So we have to get that out too.
Yeah.
So you can apply that right to new Vinnie Mac merch.
Yeah, I like it.
He's got some cup coming out that he wants, some tumbler or whatever. Who knows?
Is it a athletic supporter cup? What are you talking about?
It's like a tumbler deal. That's good though. You got a good say. Vinny's got some good sayings that he came up with.
Yeah.
Well, who gave them to you? You came up with them?
These are mine. These are mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check, please. You can't teach that. It takes action to make action.
I like that one.
See?
Yeah, I like that one.
That's a good one. That's what
I'm going to get one of those shirts when it comes out.
You are?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to wear it when I paint my house. So,
all right.
All right, Slick, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, LFS6B, by the way. Speaking of great merch and great stuff, My Pillow. Rev 7, man, I tell you, it's so good.
I wish I could try some.
I wish you could too.
Oh, you're still talking about that?
Rev 7, you can get that at My Pillow. And of course, obviously, you can get all the other good stuff Mike has. Use code LFS6B at checkout. Slickster's got some sports. What's going on, Slick?
Rev 7, right next to the water aisle. Yeah, right. All right, here we go. NHL action, Big D. Let's get right to it now. We got the playoffs going on. Come on.
He's not laughing.
That's what else is doing.
I hate you right now.
All right, come on. Let's get serious here, boys. We got got a show to run here. East first round, Game 5. Toronto leading the series 3-1, looking to close it out. Ottawa's looking to say no. Right now it's 1-0. Ottawa leads the Maple Leafs, 14 to go there in the second, holding on for dear life. Devils 3-0 over the Hurricanes. Another series, Game 5. Carolina looking to close it out. Right now, Devils are holding on, and they're winning on the road. So end of one period there. We'll see what happens. Wild taking on the Golden Knights. That's a 9:30 puck drop. And we got another game, 10 o'clock. The Oilers are out in Los Angeles to take on the Kings.
Hey, happy birthday to Renee on X. I see her say I had to come on tonight because it's my birthday.
Oh,
all right.
You know, it was my birthday yesterday.
Right, that's right.
Today is Renee's birthday.
All right, happy birthday, Renee.
Well, happy birthday, Renee.
Yeah.
Wow.
Happy birthday
Sorry it's so close to Damon's. He
happy
tries
birthday
to suck
to
up all
Renee,
the,
and of course, happy birthday to me.
He tries to suck up all the birthday stuff for him, but, you know.
Everything around him is his birthday. Yeah, I know.
I got you cotton candy.
Kind of more like a birthday week kind of guy. Mine lasts,
Kind of like a teenage girl.
especially since it's on Monday. It really should last till Sunday.
Right.
Did Harry treat you Saturday night for your birthday when you were out? Trick or treat.
Harry forgot to bring his wallet.
It's not April Fool. Not April 1st. It's like April 28th. Yeah.
That's the truth. All right, NBA, we got a couple of scores there, too. All playoff action here, guys. Got to keep on top of this, East first round, Game 5. Indiana leading the series 3-1. Where's these good, close series? I don't
That
see
series
enough
is
of that.
over.
Yeah, but that's all over. But the crime. Bucks right now, 91-89 over the Pacers. 5 to go there in the fourth. Knicks right now up by 5 in the Garden, 27-22. Knicks looking to close it out tonight as well. Told you last night. Right now the Pistons are down 3-1. Only 5% of the teams that are down 3-1 have ever come back in NBA history. So not looking good for the Pistons there. But maybe they can extend it to get a Game 6 at home if possible. 9 to go there in the second quarter. So we got plenty of time. Magic are in Boston tonight, taking on the Celtics in TD Garden. Boston looking to close it out. Also up 3-1. That series is over as well.
Over.
8:30 tip-off there. And last but not least, and here is a good series finally, the Clippers and Nuggets tied at 2. Game 5 tonight, 10 p.m. I'm going to be up late. Every night I'm up late with these games. So that's your wrap on the playoff scores and playoff games. And this story kind of hit the airwaves earlier today. I don't know if you guys heard about this one. Giants official tells Trump to stop yapping after President's Saquon Barkley claim. President Donald Trump claims he told the Giants to keep Saquon Barkley. This is Ryan Gatos of Fox News. The New York Giants fired back at President Donald Trump on Monday after he claimed he told the team to keep running back Saquon Barkley before he left for the Philadelphia Eagles. Barkley had some of his Eagles teammates were at the White House to celebrate the Super Bowl 59 victory. By the way, I have to tell you something Trump said while discussing Barkley's tremendous feat against the Jacksonville Jaguars, where he hurtled backward over a defender. I was with the Giants and the head coach and some people and said, do anything you have to, but don't lose Saquon. They lost Saquon. That was not good. I called that one. That was an easy one to call because he played damn well for the Giants. I can tell you that. He made the right decision because it's a team sport and there's great people on his team. However, the remark did not appear to sit well with Big Blue. Giants spokesman Pat Hanlon told Front Office Sports there were no conversations between the organization and Trump about the star running back. Hanlon also remarked about Trump's comments on social media. With all due respect, stop yapping. Be the leader we all want you to be. And my 401k wants you to be. I'm trying to retire, he added on X, tagging the president's account. So, wow.
Who did that?
That was Hanlon, this gentleman. Pat Hanlon, he is the Giants spokesman.
Yeah.
Obviously, he knows
Maybe
everything
not
that goes
much
on.
Longer.
Like, Trump couldn't have had a conversation with somebody from the Mara family at an event, one of those 5-star events that they have with the black tie and all, And so he knows everything, this guy here.
How about they just shut up? He's having fun.
Yeah.
He's having fun.
Exactly.
He's goofing around. He's just having a good time.
Not
like
only
the guy does.
that, but how about there's footage of your stupid team and I think it was the GM at the time who's sitting in the room with the Maras and talking about Saquon, and they said the guy said something to the effect like, well, I would hate to see him go to the Eagles and stay in conference.
Bingo. What happens?
So they knew it. Even themselves internally were having discussions about it. There's video of that. I don't know if it was from Hard Knocks or from something. So what are they talking about? The president's right.
And Barkley did hang out with the president on Sunday. We talked about that last night. He was seen at Trump's golf course in Bedminster, New Jersey, before he flew back to Washington with the president on Air Force One. Saquon flying in
What
style.
a treat, huh?
Yeah. He defended his decision to kick it with Trump in a post before the White House. We read that all last night, but he had a good time. He told people, back off. He says, I get out with the presidents. He was out with Obama, too, so he's not really playing favorites, but I'm sure he had a hell of a better time with President Trump, let's be honest, and probably a hell of a better golf game, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, Big D. That's a wrap in sports. Back to you.
He said it well, though. Did you see Saquon's comments?
Yeah, we put the tweet up.
Oh, it was great. I mean, that's what Americans should be saying.
Yes.
You know, it's the president of the United States. I'm honored to be there. Like Bill Maher.
Yeah.
You know, give them both just kudos. Well said. It's exactly.
Look at
all you
Saquon
loonies.
Barkley, too, the other night when you guys were covering the UFC last week, right? Same thing. He got blacklisted for, shaking the president's hand. Right?
Oh, you mean Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah, Shaquille. Yeah,
Shaquille.
Shaquille.
Saquon again.
You said Saquon.
Oh, that was Shaquille. Sorry.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Starts with an S.
Yeah, starts with an S. Yep.
Yeah, you can buy a vowel.
Well, by the way, I mean, I think Obama would be probably pretty cool on the golf course.
No.
100%.
I would go
Folks,
if
now,
Obama
folks.
invited me out to talk with about anything. I'd go. He's a cool guy. I don't agree with him, and I don't really like him. But as president of the United States, I think he's funny.
He tries
kind of
to
a
act
cool
all
guy.
cool and whatever.
He tries to be a guy.
I'm hip.
Tries to be hip.
He tries to be hip. I mean, in his own way. It was.
He's not exactly a man's man.
No, not
Right?
exactly.
I'm just saying, there's certain guys that are,
Yeah, he's not
man's
Trump.
man, and
of course.
right,
Would you turn down a meeting with
nobody's
the
Trump.
president of the United States?
Nobody's
Would you turn it
President
down?
Trump, man.
No,
That's
you would not turn
rock star.
down a meeting with
No,
the president of
course
the United
not.
States.
Even
whoever
with
it is.
with Smoking Joe. I mean, I would go.
Well, no. I would have.
Well,
I get him a
would
Red
know you
Bull.
were there,
you might be doing that at a funeral parlor.
What would be the point, right? He wouldn't even know I was there. Exactly.
Both
Joe,
laying
Joe,
down,
I'm over here.
Joe, I'm over here.
shopping for coffins or something.
shopping for a new bed.
He just would wander out, paging Joe Biden.
MyMattress.com.
Definitely don't go bike riding with the guy.
Joe Biden to the Oval Office, please. Joe Biden to the Oval Office.
I just signed on.
Damon needs to take another nap if he's talking about Obama. if they had a threesome that Obama was in, they didn't have a fourth, and they said, "Big D, we need a fourth. We're playing Augusta. You want to play? It's going to be me, and Obama." Hell yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, and you
Kidding me?
and you'd get your
Grease
digs
on
in.
my chin.
And then I'd whoop him on the course, and then talk smack.
Yeah.
Thanks, RVC 2020. I'm cleaning up now.
Ask him where Michael is. Or Michelle. Sorry.
Yeah.
Michelle.
I absolutely would do that in 2 seconds.
It would be fun.
I'd smoke a 4-iron off the first tee and be like, "You're up, pal."
That's good.
That's the way it's going to be all day.
I would definitely lose about 12 balls.
And I never slice.
And then what do you do on hole 2?
Exactly. Oh, man, you do not want to be in the golf course with me. It is a danger. I'm a danger to a lot of people on that course and cars if you're near a highway.
All right, Ron and Norma Klein are checking in on the YouTube. Hey, Ron and Norma. Chris Allen, Sue Salvabaro, Les Durham, good old Les is in the chat.
No, it's 8:28. I thought I missed my. Don't let me miss my 8:45.
What's 8:45?
Yes, we're watching the point countdown.
Points giveaway.
Oh, we got a giveaway.
You're actually going to do that? You're not going to welch?
New Jersey Girl 54.
I don't welch.
No?
No.
You're
No?
not promising any spheres?
I thought you were a Welshman,
Yeah.
like Tom Jones.
It's not unusual.
What's new, pussycat?
I still want to talk to Kevin about that Tom Jones show. Like
He said it was great.
Yeah, I'd like to just know what it's like.
He said he doesn't move the way he used to. But, the guy's 80.
He looks still pretty good, I have to say. I mean, at 80 with those pipes, man, he can deal.
Yeah, and he can sing.
And he can sing too.
By the way, he was good on.
He brought me a pizza.
What was he
by
on
the way.
Voice or something?
Whoa.
He was on. I think he was on The Voice or one of those types of shows.
He was good on that.
Oh, he's fantastic. What an entertainer. My gosh. He was everything in the
He's
early
like a man's man. That's
Yeah.
the kind of guy you can hang out with.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Just catch the strays.
He could open up a lingerie store back in the day.
He had that TV show, the morning show or something, and
No, it was a TV show. It was like a nighttime show.
it was a
I
nighttime
remember
show.
my parents used to watch it.
My mother used to watch it too, so I remember a
I'll think
couple of
about
those.
a dance.
He had some big acts on
Just
there.
a big Tom written behind him.
Yeah,
Remember that?
yeah. He was a dude. He still is a dude.
Yeah.
He wouldn't go golfing with Obama.
No.
No, he wouldn't. No way.
He'd go golfing with like 3 hot chicks.
All right, I take it back.
That would be.
Yeah. I'm not going golfing with Obama. Forget it. You're out. Tried to.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B.
Let him have it.
People are dealing well with the fact that I'd play golf with Obama.
You know what it is?
What that last one say?
Hey, you turncoat.
You know what you don't realize about Damon, though?
Yeah.
Is that if somebody offered him free golf, he'd go. I don't care who he is, he'd go.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Especially
Just offer him free golf.
I play Augusta with Saddam Hussein if I got offered to play it.
Watch the sand trap.
Big D hit bombs. What? Look out. Yeah. 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some news. And here with the news is Rick Delgado. Mr. Delgado, news is brought to you by Eternal Life Coin, eternallifecoin.com.
Oh, is it?
Check them out. I got some Eternal Life Coins and the new ones in the mail today. Man, I tell you, they do a great job of shipping. The way it comes to you, the way it looks, the beautiful coin comes in this little package. It comes with this beautiful certification. Man, it's a first-class operation, I'll tell you that. If you haven't looked at it, check it out, eternallifecoin.com. All one word, eternallifecoin.com. Free shipping with code LFS6B at checkout. Rick Delgado, what's going on in the news?
All right. Well, I don't know if you guys saw this. Of course, Trump's 100 days being celebrated. Correct? All over the country, believe it or not. Even in Beverly Hills, California. Believe it or not. Cut number 11. Check this out. I guess I don't know if it was put together by somebody, but somebody ran some video on this Trump rally in the midst of Blue Land, Beverly Hills. Look at this.
Wow.
Beverly Hills.
This was today.
That is amazing. I have to say, amazing.
Some rally.
How about that? Take that, Obama.
Heads are exploding.
Exactly.
Explode. While they're turning their Teslas in, heads are exploding.
Wow,
I mean, that's insane. That's in Beverly Hills. That's as blue as you can get.
Sure is.
But there they are, out in force in Beverly Hills, California, around the country as well. Maria Bartiromo here in cut number 10. She has her own take of what's been going down in the Trump 100 days as she talks about not only inflation, but other things as well that have been affected. Here's cut number 10, Maria Bartiromo. Check this out.
I think there's no other way to look at this first 100 days other than a huge success. I mean, I know what you're talking about in terms of the polling and the approval rating, but look at the president's two top issues, immigration and inflation. Border crossings are down 99%. I spoke with President Trump on Sunday. He told me 3 people were apprehended at the border in the month of April, compared with 248,000. In the month last year, 1 year ago. That's the, migration and immigration story. Now let's take a look at inflation. You and I talked about eggs a long time ago. The price of eggs are down 50%. Look at where mortgage rates are down. Look at oil prices are down. So when you take a look at what President Trump said that he was going to do, it is a huge success in terms of these first 100 days.
Yeah. And again, when you talk about oil and gas and fuel, that's what gets things to market as well. So eventually that price is going to catch up where they're paying less for fuel. It's going to reflect in other prices for other things, other consumables that are also going to be going down. So, it's this ripple effect. As long as the energy prices start to consistently track downward, you're going to see everything else start to follow. And those freakouts over the tariffs and, oh my goodness, we're going to be paying so much more you're not really going to see it as affected as much as I guess the left and the rest of the We Hate America crowd was hoping for.
Also, give it a beat. Give it a beat with these tariffs to actually start, making negotiations and closing deals. They are hampering the president on a daily basis, the media and the left, on making good deals for America because they're putting pressure on him. to make these tariff deals or get rid of the tariffs while he's using that to negotiate. I mean, they are undermining him at every turn.
Yeah.
When that happens, though, you're right. An explosion of great stuff.
Right. And I wouldn't put it past, let's face it, we were talking about this last night. Vin, you weren't here. We were talking about Ukraine and why they haven't been able to get the deal done. It's because the Democrats have been muddying the waters, right? They're in Zelensky's ear. They're saying, don't make a
100%.
deal. Hold out. We'll keep it coming. We'll keep the money coming. We just need more time. And I'm sure the Democrats, that they're probably reaching out to their friends overseas. Hey, don't make a deal. Don't make a deal yet. Trying to hamper our president in getting the deal done. And from what I understand, I guess there's a one big deal that could be coming, that could be just waiting for the premier, the prime minister, and they're
voting whatever
they're voting or something.
Yeah,
and they said it could be India. If India's that first deal, you're going to see a lot of positive stuff come from that.
On energy, Trump hasn't just altered America's energy strategy. He's completely transformed it back to what we saw in 2016 to 2020. All of the not only industries, but he's tapping into all of the energy sources that made America strong back then. The Green New Deal, dead. The electric vehicle mandate, dead. Clean coal being revived. Fracking, expanding. He talked about tonight in his speech, talked about Anwar being back open. Oil and gas fields being reopened like Anwar. Exporting LNG to Europe, who needs it again. So what the president's done on energy is, like you said, probably next to what he's done at the border is the next most important thing in this 100 days. If you're going to look at and put little grades and check marks next to, and especially on level of importance, that would be it. Biden, $120 a barrel, I think we hit under Biden at some points, maybe even higher. Oof. And he used the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, you remember, as a prop.
It seems like they were just purposely setting us up for failure. But the other thing that Trump did with energy that's pretty cool is he's marginalized the Middle East, Russia, and with the tariffs and the rest of the products, China. 3 major places that we were dependent on for our fuel and for our products, that he's marginalizing all 3. And it's only been 100 days.
Yeah. And you're going to just see more of the positive, I believe, at least where it comes to energy. Again, energy is everything. You can't open a store. You can't move products. You can't get things, you can't get the raw materials that you need to build your products unless you have the energy to get them there. And I think that's going to be the big tell. And when you talk about the strategic oil reserves, I don't know if you guys heard about this. Biden, in his attempt to drive down the price of gas before the election cycle, of course, draining it as much as he did, he damaged 2 of the oil reserve reservoirs. Now those have to be those have to be fixed before they can be refilled. So they're working on, that was announced, I think it was last night or this morning I saw that, where they actually have to work on fixing these 2 reservoirs because of the damage that was done by the prior administration. Again, not exactly America first. It's only about Democrat power first.
Look at Obama. Look at Biden. Plane full of money to Iran, putting money in our enemies' hands.
Yep. Yeah.
Biden draining our strategic reserve. War is happening. And it's almost like if you were purposely setting out a plan to weaken this country for a takeover. I hate to be that dramatic about it, but man, it walks like a duck, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You see these actions from Obama to Biden that are so undermining. They're not even undermining. They're beyond stupid because they're calculated. And then the mass immigration. Right. Those 3 things. It's purposefully trying to destroy this country. That's why people should be so thankful, and the media should be acknowledging, to some extent, having a guy like Trump in there. I know we do. Right. But this mainstream media just does not, they seem like they want to hurt us.
Exactly. Hey, one last thing here, Damon. In the first 100 days, probably a story nobody else has been talking about, from The Gothamist. President Donald Trump is taking over New York City. How? He is taking over Penn Station. Did you hear about this?
I heard this. Great story.
President Donald Trump is taking over the reconstruction of Penn Station and kicking the MTA off the project. Federal federal transportation officials announced. The move was laid out in a letter to MTA Chair Janno Lieber from the Federal Railroad Administration, who said the work will instead be overseen by Amtrak, which owns Penn Station. There's no reason to delegate leadership on an important project like this, according to U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. He wrote in a statement, President Trump has made it clear the days of reckless spending and blank checks are over, Duffy wrote. New York City deserves a Penn Station that reflects America's greatness and is safe and clean. MTA's history of inefficiency, waste, and mismanagement also meant that a new approach is needed. But by putting taxpayers first, we're ensuring every dollar is spent wisely to create a transit hub all Americans can take pride in. The MTA has for years planned to reconstruct Penn Station without relocating Madison Square Garden, where the Knicks are playing right now, which sits above the rail hub. The agency has also worked with Amtrak and New Jersey Transit on a controversial plan to expand the station, but they never seem to get it together. So there you have it. President Trump is taking over, and he's probably going to get it done on time.
Cheaper, faster.
On time and under
better,
budget.
quicker.
Yeah. And why else is he doing it? He knows New York. He knows how corrupt it is.
Yeah.
He knows the level of corruption is staggering. The governor's office to the local authorities to New York City. And he's not going to allow that to happen.
Nope.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, back to the trade thing. If India is what Howard Lutnick was referring to today, that he has a deal that's done, as he said, it will be interesting after everything we've seen through the markets. Markets kind of rebounded now, though, but still a lot of uncertainty out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's a game of musical chairs. And when the music stops, you don't want to be the one without a chair. And that becomes the situation even more once the first big deal is cut. Because then all of a sudden, you know, China has done its best to try to get some of these European nations to its side. And it really, for the most part, has failed. So if there's a deal here with India, then this game of musical chairs, and when is the music next going to stop? President Trump said something today that I took notice of. He said, you know, we're going to try to work with China, and, you know, be nice. And this. He goes, but pretty soon, if there's no deal, well, then I'm just going to set the price. And I'm going to say, well, here's the price. You want to buy? You don't want to buy.
Right.
And so this game of chicken that China's playing, once the momentum begins, all the others are going to want a seat at the table. They don't want to be left without a chair when the music stops. And it will be interesting to see, once that first deal, does that make China more eager to negotiate? And Trump's leverage continues to get greater, not only by the day, but maybe by the hour, once that first big deal is done.
Yeah. Here's the inflection point on this, that's the way I see it at least. India and the EU. I don't think there's a chance that Japan, or South Korea, a lot of other countries are not going to go along with the program for the United States and the tariff thing. India and the EU are the key. And you want to turn the table on China, you need those two. You need particularly the EU. And the EU is where I'm most concerned.
And China's efforts, as I just said, to get the EU to their side, for the most part so far, I would say have to be classified as a failure.
Yeah. Yeah, and if it continues to be that, the big win for Trump is if India drops, like we think a big country like that is going to drop here in a good way, and the EU follows that, game over, game, set, match in terms of China. Now, they may or may not do anything, but they're baked. And that's the whole strategy.
All right, more sports with Slick News with Vinnie Mac coming up live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. We're back right after this.
Got my handy dandy charger. Now I got to put it
Handy
in.
dandy.
All right. Points are going out.
Ooh.
In, let's see, how many? $1 equals 20 points. Let's give everybody how many points? 10 points.
Oh.
10 points?
$1.
I don't know, 50,000? No. 100 points?
All right.
Give him 100 points. 10 points, right? Oh, every person. Oof.
Thanks, Slick. Cleared that up nicely.
He's good at math.
Wow. Wow, it's a lot of money.
No kidding.
What's
Yeah.
one pay plus one pay?
I thought you're giving away paper. What are you giving away? Monopoly money or you're giving away
Pesos.
real money?
All right, I got it, Slick. Thanks for all your
Thanks, Slick.
Thanks
Appreciate
for your feedback.
that.
I don't want to get
Hey, what's the
involved
score
in
of the
this.
Nick game? What the hell's going on over
Ready for
there?
your
don't wanna
sports
get
report,
involved.
please. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh,
It's
points
50
are going.
rubles.
It's purple raining, folks.
Update.
Been a long day, guys.
Boom. First time points live on the show.
That pizza would have hit home. You would have been
Chris
thinking.
NC,
clear.
Oh, I know.
100,000.
Should have had some. It was great.
How many points for a shirt? Ticked off Patriot.
All right, points are going out. Damon's in a good mood
For now.
Epitome of
for
nothing.
now. Yeah,
Sup.
let's not get spoiled. This is
Sup.
momentarily could change at any
Thank
Sup,
you.
chat.
second.
Thank you very much.
Could momentarily change on any commercial.
Dave Syverson says hashtag hung over Damon. No, I don't drink.
No.
Never hungover.
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Drinks very healthy things. Feta cheese juice. Anything with feta.
What is that one?
Basically.
ES. So what is Mike
Vin's been
Mills
pushing
drink?
feta on me for 12 years.
Yeah, I'm big on feta. I just think feta is such a funny word.
Nancy Burton
I love feta.
on X.
That's a
Hello.
cheesy word.
I think he's fed up with it. Here we go. Dave Syverson says, Damon, I don't need points, but I'll take cigars.
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 Well, you need a friend like that guy, which happens to be our.
Right.
Huh? All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday, April 29th. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Going to do it right here in a second. Rick Delgado's doing the news. He'll do more in hour 2. Vinny Mac's got some thoughts coming up. Aaron and Fran holding it down, as always. Someone said we need an Aaron and Fran holding it down T-shirt. What are you waiting for,
there you go.
D, to make one, Big D? And I don't know.
That's a great
Good
idea.
idea.
You put it on hold.
It's a good idea. Maybe your two names on the front and holding it down on the back. Something.
Nice.
I don't know.
I like
What
that
are they
one.
holding down?
I think it's a
Or
great
maybe-
thing.
Holding down the control room. What are
Or
you talking
maybe
about?
Fran's new T-shirt should be, I'm not sharing that with anybody.
My likeness rights are too expensive.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can't pay them. No.
Yeah.
Can't
So,
afford them.
Talk to
All
my
right.
lawyer.
He needs an NIL deal.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you should enter the portal. Slick, speaking of entering the portal, let's talk about some sports. What's going on?
All right,
Sports
Big
brought to you
D.
by our friend Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slick, what's going on?
That'd be the Port Authority. All right, Yankees make Major League Baseball history by hitting again 3 home runs to open a game. ESPN News Services, Baltimore. The New York Yankees became the first team in Major League history to open a game with 3 consecutive home runs more than once in a season, when Trent Grisham, Aaron Judge, and Ben Rice went deep off Baltimore's Kyle Gibson in the first inning tonight.
Nice.
New York started the bottom of the first of its March 29th game against Milwaukee with 3 homers in a row in that game. Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, and Judge needed only 3 pitches to hit 3 homers. The Yankees added a 4th home run later in the first inning of both that game and Tuesday's game, making them the first team to belt 4 in the first inning twice in a season. I like that.
Hello.
On Tuesday
I
night,
love
the
it.
Yankees hit 3 homers of the game's first 5 offerings out to right field. It was an ugly return to the majors for 37-year-old Gibson, who made 30 starts for the Cardinals last season before being signed by Baltimore. But boy, Yankees looking good there, Rick. They're playing good ball this year. So are the Mets as well.
I did not know
keep
that.
an eye on that.
And Aaron
Absolutely.
Judge is just tearing it up.
Yep, and here's a story that just won't go away, huh? Shannon Sharpe, rape accuser, will not release key evidence sex tape. This is Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. Tony Busby, you remember that? Tony Busby? Didn't he do the Sean Watson cases? The lawyer representing the women accusing ESPN analyst and NFL Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe of rape will not be releasing the video of the two having sex, calling it key evidence in the case. The only reason you know about the existence of a video recording is that Mr. Sharpe specifically referenced in his BS statement, Busby told TMZ Sports. The contents of the video were shared during the mediation process with Sharpe's attorneys. Again, Sharpe and his team disclosed that, not us. Sharpe himself was offered on more than one occasion to view it himself. He declined. We've never made any claims or threats about it and won't do so. And no, he added, we won't be releasing the video as it is key evidence in the case and will be treated as such. Sharpe, who mentioned the video in his own video statement days after the rape allegations were made public, claims the footage is a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. Can't imagine what was said on that tape, right?
Yeah, me either.
Sharpe claims the unedited video is 10 minutes long and asked Busby to air the full unedited version. The former Bronco and up until recently co-host of ESPN's popular morning show First Take faces a $50 million lawsuit from the woman with whom he had an apparent 2-year relationship. She's accusing the former NFL star of multiple incidents of rape in the months before their relationship ended. Sharpe has decried the allegations as a shakedown and vowed to fight them. He has stepped away from his duties while fighting the charges. So, yeah, really some story that they're developing. He was on the precipice of signing a $100 million contract with ESPN. They were going to offer him like the ranch. And all of a sudden, this young lady came out with these accusations. I don't know. Me and Rick was saying we might wait until he signed that contract and then didn't get it bring it public.
Well, he was warned. He was warned by Cat Williams on his show that, stuff like this is going to happen, to look out for. And then I think Monique, his buddy Monique, told him stay away from certain types of women, and he didn't do it. And here it is.
By the way, so did Jason Whitlock over at the Blaze.
Oh, yeah, Whitlock.
Whitlock said you better stay away from that peanut butter skin.
Yeah.
Hands is what he
Get yourself in trouble right there, Big D.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Watch that. All right. Well, I got another story coming up.
Well, for Shannon.
Next sports segment, as White House jokingly credits President Trump for stopping Shedeur Sanders' draft slide. We'll get to that in the next sports segment, Big D.
Oh, my
Back
goodness.
to you.
What was the
President Trump?
tease again?
He stopped the draft slide. He started calling out the owners when Shedeur fell to the 5th round.
Oh, I know. We read that tweet he put out. He was all in on that.
Yeah,
so.
he was.
All right, Slick, very good. We'll do some more sports with Slick in hour 2. Vinny Mac is here. Vinny Mac's got some thoughts. Of course, that's brought to you by EternalLifeCoin.com, our friends at EternalLifeCoin.com. It is really a piece of history. If you want to go check it out, EternalLifeCoin.com, all one word. It is a beautiful memento to have if you want to give it as a gift. Keep it for yourself. Anybody who's religious, a believer, anybody spiritual in your life who's looking for some connection, what a great gift it is. EternalLifeCoin.com. Free shipping with code LFS6B. Vinny Mac, what's going on?
Yeah, I've got my coin with me today, by the way. Always carry it with me.
Yep.
What's on my mind right now is 92%. That's a good number, isn't it?
92%.
92%.
That's
92% is
like?
It's a really healthy number. I would think that if the police arrest someone, 92% of the time they're probably right, and those people need to go through due process. So you get to go through, having a lawyer and defending yourself. And I would say about 92% of the time they're probably guilty because the police arrested them. That sounds right. If you go to the doctor and you're getting diagnosed on something, I'd say 92% of the time they might be right once they do tests and all that. Not always right. Go for second opinion, go for third opinion, but they have something in common, both of those instances. There's a process. There's a process in which they do things. And that's what reporters are supposed to do. There's supposed to be a process. That process is, if I write something or say something, I have to validate it that it's true. Now, the criteria is a little softer these last couple of decades, but they still have to find sources and they have to find backup to validate it's true. So they're in a very similar position, which makes the entire matter of 92% of the news coverage of Trump on all the mainstream media sources to be negative in this first 100 days incredibly hard to follow and to understand. If they're supposed to actually check these things, if they're supposed to actually have some validation. Now, granted, left media doesn't really look for validation with Trump. They just put up hate stuff. But they are in the news business. So I'm stuck on this 92% number and trying to understand how on earth they're able to come up with 92% of the coverage after we just talked about the last 100 days. The border alone, if you're biased and hate Trump, there's nowhere to go on that subject. There's nowhere to go. There's no 92%. It doesn't exist of a negative story on the border. It doesn't exist. The border's closed. It's as simple as that, yet that's not what's being reported. The reason I bring this type of thing up is I am faced on a regular basis, and I think maybe Delgado probably the same as me and others out there, of dealing with people that are influenced by this 92%, that are watching Rachel Maddow, that are watching CNN, that are reading the New York Times, that are watching ABC, 60 Minutes, all of these shows. They're all influenced by this. And when you hear the number of 92% of it's negative, you know, I walk away from that thinking, I could see why they are off the wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they have this Trump derangement syndrome. So there was a reporter, we have a clip here, it's clip 21. There was a reporter being interviewed who had Trump derangement syndrome and cried when he was elected the first time. And she's kind of come around to that. I thought it was worth showing based on this 92%. So to give that a run, Aaron.
When Trump won in 2016, you were at the Wall Street Journal and you were sobbing at your desk. Has your view of him evolved since then?
I'm the first to admit that I was a sufferer of what conservatives at the time would have called TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. And I was alarmed and really nervous about everything I was reading, and especially, and this hasn't changed, about his character. There were two things I think that I didn't know in that moment when I was crying at my desk. One would be the sort of overzealous, out-of-touch, hysterical reaction to him that calls itself democratic, that calls itself progressive, but is actually extraordinarily authoritarian and totalitarian in its impulses. The other thing that I didn't see was that Trump was going to do a lot of policies that I agreed with. The economy was better. And look,
all right, hold it there. We'll discuss on the other side, as they say in the business. Hour 2 coming up right after this.
Who's what?
Chat.
Oh,
that reporter was not any different than a lot of people on the left that actually did cry, that were freaked out. I've got to look at the clip. I don't know it offhand. But she was pretty common to people back then. But what she said was pretty interesting. You know, I agreed with him. It turned out I agreed with him on a lot of things, policies. You know, it's just this derangement that is pushed by the left. That's why this 92% is such a staggering number, because it's causing such resistance, you know, from people who should know better, frankly.
All right, Ken B, 412 in the Rumble chat. It's a Rumble rant. He's asking people to go vote for Corey O'Connor in Pittsburgh to eliminate Ed Gainey, the Pittsburgh mayor in the primary, then go get that Pittsburgh Republican mayor in the general, Moreno or West for mayor. So that's Ken B 412. If you're in that area and you're voting, that's what he wants you to do.
All right, Pittsburgh, get out. Take this guy out.
Pittsburgh.
That's what we need to do. We got to think a little small ball, too, you know, and get a lot of these folks out that are in local office, like Florida, where we think we've got some control there. And then you got these complete dingbats in there that say they're Republicans, and you got really Democrats in there.
Skeetsman in the chat.
Okay.
MAGA Patriot 63, Joe Ed Jr., Razoo 76,
Razoo. I love that name.
Zinc and Ivy. Got everybody jamming out in the Rumble chat. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Astrotech 2, you are correct. Biden did drain the treasury even faster than the oil reserves.
Yeah, please. Greta is mentioning in my movie coming out, which, by the way, opens in theaters, The Ruse, May 16th. I play Ed. I've played an Ed, a Bert, and a Dan in my movie career. Those are my 3 movie roles.
Wow.
Ed, Bert, and Dan.
Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Tuesday night. Dish Network, Channel 219, Pluto TV, 240, Samsung TV Plus, 1175, Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Select TV 106. Of course, follow us on all the socials. Chat. Always live in the chat. The Rumblers, the Twixers, the Kickers, the Getters, the Instagrammers, the YouTubers, the Facebookers. You're all out there. We appreciate you, and keep liking and share. The show Slick has got more sports coming up, but let's pick up where we left off with Vinnie Mac, with this reporter, I guess, coming to terms with her TDS, and now that she's made it through the other side. I guess she got some help. She talked it through. She understood policy. She stopped believing the mainstream media and what they're forcing down her throat. She was basically, I equate it to being waterboarded, right? That's what the mainstream media does. When it comes to Trump, they waterboard you with all the negative stuff, hoping that you'll choke on it and just scream and be like, oh my God, we have to stop him.
Yeah, and you've said this many times, and you've been 100% correct about this, and
that's why I say it.
Yep. Give me a harumph, will you, please?
Harumph.
Okay. But you've said this many times, and what you've said is this is why a lot of people changed their votes. And Trump won in such a big landslide as people woke up to this. And this reporter has woken up to it. And now we see stories out that are outrageous, and you see the left leaning into them, like the El Salvador thing with the gang member, and now this Wisconsin judge. The left is leaning into this story of this Wisconsin judge, which, by the way, the story isn't that a judge was arrested. It's not the story. These things happen. Cops get arrested. Dirty cops get arrested. Sure. FBI agents get arrested. CIA people get arrested for selling secrets, all that kind of stuff. The story is that a judge illegally obstructed federal agents and helped a foreign criminal avoid arrest.
Yes.
That's the story. But when you hear the no one is above the law line, which the left screams out because of Trump, because of all this stuff, you see the 92% coverage, and then you see these 2 instances. A MS-13 gang member, wife beater, already been to court several times, told he's going to be deported. He gets sent back to El Salvador, and they're flying down there. And the media's covering it as if we should feel bad for this guy, and Trump is doing some outrageous thing.
Right.
That's the 92% that they're talking about, a very logical issue. Now, this judge, first of all, we've talked about Pam Bondi a couple of times.
Yeah.
Could not be happier that Cash and Pam stepped in and did this. But I always go back to this 92% because I'm like, how are these people this deranged? How are they freaking out? How are people that I know very well in business and personally so far off the reservation? And you see this 92% number, and then you see 2 instances that are black and white. There's no gray area here.
No, there's no gray area. And you know what? It has zero to do with policy or above the law. They hate Trump. So to them, the ends justify the means. It doesn't matter if it's against the law. It doesn't matter if people get hurt. It doesn't matter if your business burns to the ground. It doesn't matter if somebody dies. They want to stop Donald Trump because they've been conditioned. They've been brainwashed. These aren't people that, I don't believe most of them walk through life and have very happy lives.
It does seem like there's something deeper mentally within these people where there's some therapy needed in some case, because there has to be something else going on in their lives that they're angry with. But one thing I wanted to bring up, Rick, that I think you probably appreciate, the other side of this, all this 92% and all these the other side is the things we talked about with Obama and Biden and all the bad things they did that look like they just want to destroy the country, right? Yeah. All those bad things. Then you see this arrest in Colorado, that amazing arrest of all of these people who are gang members, drug dealers, traffickers. They're here illegal. Just a haven of these people in a Denver club doing all sorts of bad things. Not a Denver club, it's a Colorado club. All sorts of bad things. And then you hear there were 200 calls to 911, emergency calls, that something really bad was happening. That was very dangerous. And the Biden administration did nothing. So just pull back from being annoyed that Biden's a jerk and everybody's this and that. Look at the surface. Look at what this really says.
Right.
They purposely enabled behavior like this and conduct like this because they what? What's the what? They support it. They wanted destruction in this country. I can't find another place to land other than they meant not to go there. They meant not to do all these things they're doing to hurt this country. They meant it. It's deliberate. I personally could never accept that because it's too devious.
Yeah, but all you got to do is look at the border. When they sit there and say, we need...
That's the biggest example.
And that was a big thing for 4 years. We heard, we need a comprehensive border package so we can do this the right way and it'll stop. No, you didn't. You just had to enforce the laws that were already on the books. They were already there, which, lo and behold, between that and the president saying, okay, we're not going to do this stupid policy anymore, that fixes the problem. You don't need a border. You know why they wanted a comprehensive package there, Vin? Because it meant more money.
It had all sorts of pork in it.
Yeah. Right, it had all sorts of pork. We'll get money for this. We'll get money for that. We'll get money for this. It'll be another USAID all over again, and it'll be a gigantic boondoggle. None of the money will go to actually dealing with the border. It'll be all the other stuff that they were able to cram in there, like some type of...
I agree. There was a selfishness.
Omelet.
But the point I'm driving into here, because what you just said is 100% true. They came up with all these excuses to funnel money as they have been doing, for years and years. It's the deliberate nature of obvious things that harm our country and our people. The border's one of them. Now, you want votes, or do you want people raped and killed and murdered? Okay. And it's like, this is the deliberate nature of the border, the deliberate nature of putting money in a plane to Iran, the deliberate nature of all the other things that we've been talking about, then the deliberate nature of just not responding to 200 911 calls because of what? Because of a deliberate move. That's the stuff. That's where things get really, really scary, is this deliberate side. Because I think as a citizen of this country, it's hard to accept our leaders being that evil. I can accept a leader being stupid. I can accept a leader making a mistake.
We had one for how many years?
We've been there.
We've had stupid.
But I can accept a lot of things. I can't accept deliberately trying to harm our people and our country. Through these actions, through Obama, Biden, and probably all these other people in between, Hillary and others.
25, 30 years ago, I thought the same way. But then all of a sudden you start to look at what's starting to happen. And I evolved in my I was always, I was a kid. I know I couldn't vote, but I was all in for Reagan when I saw him running.
Oh, me too.
Me too.
And all through the 80s and 90s, I was all Republican. And then all of a sudden, you start to notice things. Like, hey, that's not really the best thing we should be doing. But they were doing it anyway. And you're expected to stay in line, right?
Yep. Because
that's what the Republicans do. Well, you know what? No, that started to change for me a while back. And once those glasses come off and you start to see things, you're like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah, I never went there.
Then you start looking into me like, what was the Bush family involved in? Then you go back to Prescott Bush, and you're like, oh, my God, this guy was hooking up with Nazis? What? He was one? Yeah, and you find out, oh, my God, we done a lot of stuff.
Not so good things.
Yeah, that gets kind of pushed under the rug. Don't talk about because we want to elevate ourselves up here. So that's where the evil comes from, because these people were allowed to keep doing this kind of stuff and never get checked on it.
And I think
now
that's
they're getting checked on it.
That's right. Well, yes, they are, but that's where that 92% comes in. I mean, I keep coming back to that, because when you say all the things we've just said, you hear all this stuff, and you still see 92% of the stories about Trump, who's trying to solve all this and be a straight shooter and doing things that actually help people. This is a monumental problem of epic proportions, frankly. And I think I said the other Friday night when we were on, this just might take 8 years, not 4. Yeah. Trump is going to have his hands full with all the junk they're throwing at him. Well, but man, he's doing a great job out of the box.
I'm not real concerned about that 92% anymore, because that 92% encompasses the media, the old school media, that has a 10%, 12% maybe favorability rating at this point. Right. So a lot of that 92 doesn't really count anymore, not the way it used to. It doesn't carry the same weight. Sure, they're going to keep trying to push it out there, and you're still going to get the sycophants that are going to sit there and be like, I'm going to repost this on Facebook, and oh, look at me, I'm so smart. You didn't read past the headline, dummy. But, that's what you're dealing with.
Well, that brings me to my second point on this. The last point I'm going to make.
You have a second point?
I have one more point.
I know that.
I got a couple of points. One more point and a clip. That is that what you said is 100% correct.
That's why I said it.
All the podcasters, all the others that are out there that are talking a little bit more the truth, that are finally calling that out. We have clip 20 with Stephen A. Smith doing exactly that. And I wanted to show that so we can see that there is some sanity happening on the left. Can you run that?
Now you see why Stephen A. Smith was in the polls as a presidential candidate? You see what I'm talking about? You see that idiocy right there? You talk about something, people being tone deaf. Why the hell would 22 Democratic senators be literally echoing the same thing and think that would resonate with the American people? All it shows is that the same fabric of our democracy is unchanging in the eyes of some of these officials, and as a result, the constituency they represent, which is why Donald Trump is in office. What, do I have to come up to Capitol Hill and give you lessons?
You can end it there.
Seriously.
And really the beauty of that is to bring everything we just talked about full circle, is there are people like this on the left, even Bill Maher to some extent, and others, Rogan, et cetera, that are seeing the light that can help fix all this stuff. So I feel like there's reason to be optimistic. Right. Even with 92% of the mainstream media just lying to everyone, even with just about every Democrat lying to us about logical things, there are people seeing through this finally and speaking out, including that reporter who was crying when he was elected to now. Yeah. So that's sort of the full circle I wanted to go around, because we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel, which is great.
And another piece of that, too, is I saw a clip of Megyn Kelly talking about her kind of transformation from, when she was being attacked by Trump in 2015 and 2016 leading up to the election, where she said, you know what, I understood the politics part. I hated him getting personal. She goes, but everything he was doing, I was agreeing with. And everything he was trying to do and how he was governing, I found myself liking more and more. And she goes, and I had to take it from that point of view. She goes, now, and after 4 years of Biden, I love Trump because we're dealing with that. We're done with that.
That's exactly right.
So, anyhow, there you have it. We'll take a quick break. Slick Rick has got sports. We'll get an update on some games.
Yeah, playoffs.
Including the Knicks and the Pistons at the Garden in New York City. We'll check in with that in just a little bit. Big Deal will be back. I think he's filing his toenails.
Took a pizza break.
He's not warming his socks, that's for sure.
He's not blowing his socks, no. Take a quick break. We come back more live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Stay there.
hope people come in big numbers to the warehouse on Friday night.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
It's so much fun. For us, it's a great time having people there. We did a little dress rehearsal and tested it last Friday, and the energy, in the room was great, and just sharing it with all the folks that watch the show so loyally and religiously. That was an amazing, amazing night. So please come.
Definitely.
Yeah, it should be a good time.
I know that was a long way to get to that point, but I tell you, I had to come around to finish it there because it does finish it nicely when you hear all that negativity,
right?
And there is a silver lining, and that is people like Stephen A. Smith and Rogan and all these,
Yeah.
Chris Allen in the YouTube chat says, I thought Damon was in a good mood. Now I'm answering. Chris Allen, that's why he left.
That's a good one. David Horowitz has passed away.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
On behalf of the David Horowitz Freedom Center.
Fighting cancer. I didn't realize he was fighting cancer.
Yeah,
he passed away yesterday at the age of 86.
Wow. 86.
I didn't realize he was 86 either, honestly, if I'm being honest.
Oh, my God.
No, it wasn't yesterday. It was today. Sorry.
Charlie Kirk.
Wow.
Megyn Kelly went to CNN after Trump's first term. Did she? Yeah, she did, right? She did something on NBC.
She went to
CNN?
NBC first.
NBC.
She got the big deal from NBC.
What is that?
And then from there, she went. I thought she might.
She got that big deal. That's right. That big deal at NBC. That didn't last too long.
No.
They tried. The networks have got to wake up because they're just going to lose more and more and more. They need to balance this thing out a little.
Yep, live.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
No? Any guests?
No, because we were supposed to be at the warehouse.
Oh.
So I got it cleared. And then
No
the warehouse
guests.
kicked us out.
Oh, they had a big event tonight.
Yeah, Vin went over there and checked it out.
You say, yeah.
It was good. Our man Kevin Downey Jr. was there.
Oh, KDJ working the room.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was there. He was interviewed. I think he's doing a little stand-up. We worked on some material together.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday. I want to I want to tell everybody, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., 9 to 10, the 9 to 10 hour, on the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, 103.9 LI News Radio.
Hey, hello, News Radio.
You will hear the familiar voice of birthday boy, Big D.
Wow.
I will be on the Kevin Downey Jr. Show for my premiere initial appearance.
Hello.
Delgado's an old pro at it. Slick's an old pro at it. Vinnie Mac, have you been on Kevin Downey's show?
No, we're seeing other people, and it's not going that well.
Okay, very good.
So I got to get on there.
I at least beat Vin to it. Aaron and Fran, I don't know if they've been on. I think I beat them as well.
I got to work on it.
Okay, very good. But that's about it. I was the last invite that I think he's out of guest, and he said, all right, Damon, what are you doing? There's nobody else you can get.
Did he actually give you the address, though?
Huh?
Did he tell you where it is?
Oh, was he supposed to? I'll find it. So Big Day will be on his maiden voyage on the Kevin Downey Jr. Show tomorrow morning, 9 to 10, LI News Radio. And many people in the chat told me I have a face for radio, so I suspect I will do a good job.
You're going to the airport.
Yeah, Sharon said it. I think your parents said it. It's wonderful. All the people that support you most, Dave.
I will be on there tomorrow, so listen on the LI News Radio app, or just ask Alexa, hey, Alexa, play 103.9 LI News Radio.
Yeah. Good
And
station.
Boom.
Great Patriots on that station.
9 to 10, you'll hear Big D with KDJ tomorrow morning.
Oh, 9 to 11 Eastern Time. That's right.
No, I'll be on just 9 to 10.
Oh, 9 to 10.
Right. We're gonna take some phone calls.
Oh, all right.
Oh, come on. Come on.
I gotta put the station on
and things like that. You're working on everything.
I hope I remember to put it on.
No, I'm not working on anything. I'm just gonna show up.
Oh, baby.
That's all you need to do.
That'll be good. That should be fun.
John calling in from Rhode Island. John, what's your favorite radio station? First time, long time, Big D.
Right. Now you're going to get a text. You know what? Just come at 11.
Big D.
We'll go live at 11.
Slowly going down the tubes
That's
here.
what I would do as well, too.
Be like the third hour.
I was thinking, should I wear my cowboy hat? But then I remembered it's radio. Who the hell cares? Nobody cares.
No, you know what? That might be a nice look for you.
You can talk about the cowboy hat. That gives you a little conversation.
They'll probably say I heard of you.
Oh, man. We're going to have so much fun tomorrow morning, 9 to 10 a.m. We'll be talking about the big Friday night show at the America's First Warehouse.
That's right.
Should I wear the cowboy hat then?
Oh, you should definitely wear it for the show. Yeah, when you come out. I think somebody's going to steal it when you come out of the crowd. They got to grab that.
Oh, man.
You know what you should do? You should put like nachos around the rim and walk around and offer it to people as you walk out.
So I'll be like Nacho Delgado?
Nacho Midget.
Okay,
You ever hear the Nacho Midget?
Nacho
No, I have not.
Yes, it was a real guy.
And I don't think I would be representing anything close to that at 6'5".
That's true. We have a much better chance of filling that role.
Yeah, from Studio 6B Nachos. Yes, they're branded.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's not your show, so.
Yes, okay. So we'll do some more news with Delgado and Vin. Slick's going to have some more sports. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. But we were talking about President Trump's speech tonight. And I think the other thing, if you're going to talk about the first 100 days, we talked about energy. We talked about, obviously, the border being the number one thing you can point to in the Trump counter-revolution. Obviously, we talked about trade and tariffs and how Trump has kind of flipped the global trade order on its head. But what about DEI? The Trump administration is where DEI has gone to DIE. And bye-bye. And again, once again, a subject that some could have told them. And you know there's some soft, even Republican rhinos who probably are we got to dance around the subject. We got to this, we got to that. No dancing around it. We're just going to walk in and we're going to end it. And Trump's taking the same tact with all of this stuff. But with DEI, most of all, the cultural shift, I would say, away from it, the wins we've seen in this space, I think are some of the bigger, more prominent wins than we've seen in any space. It's been the cultural shift has been quite amazing towards Trump and towards our side.
It's because
towards common sense.
Yeah, towards common sense. The obvious factor is for most regular Americans, just hardworking people, you want to be rewarded on your merit. You don't want to be rewarded because you're one of these categories that DEI addresses. And we're seeing the mediocrity across the board. I mean, real people are seeing it. You're working at a company and people are hired around you because of DEI. That really affects people. Yeah. I didn't get my promotion because of DEI, or they hired this person and not that because it was DEI. Even if they're in support of that, under everything, the undertone is that really pisses me off. That happened. So I think real Americans, the majority of the people, not these fanatical 2% of the country that thinks all this stuff's good, because it's not, and they're small. It's a small group with a loud voice. And that's where you're seeing such an acceptance.
Yeah. So just many things you can point to in the 100 days. Now, the other thing is, did you see Trump sit down with Terry Moran, this lame-o from ABC?
No.
I did not see that.
And how he manhandled him and maneuvered around him. No, I mean, just absolutely, just a masterclass in not taking nonsense from some lackey reporter who's there to try to prove to his friends how tough he is.
Playing gotcha.
Yeah, well, just trying to play gotcha and trying to just pander to the base, trying to pander to the audience, and Trump just manhandled him on many subjects.
That is the wrong guy to pull that with, by the way. Trump does not hold back. If you're going to do it, you better be on your game.
Not 100%. Only that, he's pretty well versed.
He's smart
in a lot of these different things where he can drill down on more minutia than these reporters even realize, because they just think, I'll just read this part, I'll be good.
Here's a little bit of Trump with Terry Moran on ABC.
The lawyers about that. All I can say is this. If you're going to have 21 million people, and we have to get a lot of them out because they're criminals, we're going to have to act fast. We can't. Do you think we can give 21 million trials? Let's say each trial takes 2 weeks. Is that what you want us to do?
The law
give
is the law,
million?
sir. The law is the law, and you're
the law
sworn
doesn't say anything about trials.
No, not trials. Hearings. I said
These
hearings.
people came in. They're not citizens. They came in illegally. They came into our country illegally.
And
we have to get them out.
There's a legal process for that.
I can't. Sure, and we follow the legal process. I can't have a trial, a major trial for every person that came in illegally. We have thousands of murderers that came in. They're going to murder people. They already have murdered people in our country.
Right, so
we have to get them out, and we have to get them out fast.
Really bad guys, but in our country, even bad guys get due process, right?
If people come into our country illegally, there's a different standard. These are illegal. They came in illegally.
But they get due process.
Well, they get a process where we have to get them out. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Venezuelans.
They get whatever my lawyers say.
Right.
Yeah.
God,
so
what a dweeb.
Once again, a guy arguing for illegal killers, and as Daniel Horowitz points out, he says, but they get due process. Again, simply not true. 130 years of case law will tell you that. Removal is not a punishment, but a consequence of sovereignty, U.S. sovereignty. As long as you are not trying to imprison them, there is no due process unless they are claiming they are a citizen. But Terry Moran's not going to get into the weeds on this because he knows that the talking heads on the other networks and all the bullet points that have been sent out to all of them all say due process. Just say due process. Just say due process as many times as you can with them. Just say due process.
Oligarchy, due process.
Yeah. And people seem to think that due process means, it has to go to court and you have to get a lawyer. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Sometimes it means it's going on a plane.
It just means, right, there are certain proceedings that have to be done, certain papers that need to be filed, and that's the process.
All right, 26 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. More news with Delgado, Vinny Mac, sports with Slick, all coming up right after this.
Damon's doing a class on jazz right now. The key change.
Getting all jazzed up.
And then it goes back. Then it goes back down.
Goes back down. And it goes back up. Back down. That's the great thing about jazz. Sometimes they just give each other a look.
That's all we do.
That's it.
I say we like.
What? No. Yeah, you've been at the Vanguard many times.
I have actually.
Jazz.
Just not playing. Of course.
That's a great place.
Ralph Lalama and the boys.
Wow.
The Vanguard every Monday night. Woof. My boys from the Hofstra days. We all played the Vanguard. I didn't play the Vanguard, but they played the Vanguard. John Marshall on the alto sax. Ralph Lalama. I'd put him right up there. Maybe not with Coltrane, but
are you gonna play a little piano?
One of the great tenor sax players ever.
Right up there with Tim Tinnerington, I believe, because Tim's been playing
His brother Dave Lalama, my piano teacher at Hofstra.
Ooh.
One of the great jazz piano players.
I have actually heard of him, and I don't know jazz that well.
Big D, you going to play a little piano for us at the America Warehouse?
We'll get back to you on that.
Depends how the after party goes.
We'll get back to you at 11 o'clock on Friday night.
Oh, great.
11:01, I'll have an answer for you.
Yeah, you'll be in bed at that point.
When I'm halfway down the road.
All right. I'll key that in as a no.
88 keys that in as a no there, Slickster.
I can't believe the Devils were up 3-0 and the Hurricanes came back to tie it at 4.
Oh, my God. Frank the Tank's going to have a stroke. He's probably at the game.
Oh, my God. No, he's not at the game. He's in Carolina. But, oh, my God.
Damon should get Delbert McClinton to come to the show just so Delgado can call him Dilbert for the millionth time. Gary Quinn on YouTube.
That would be great. That would be.
Come on, Delbert.
Oh, Delbert.
Sing me that Mustang salad, boy.
That'll go a long way
for Dilbert.
For him coming back. That'll come a long way. Dilbert, come back. Yeah.
Where are you going?
Yeah, okay. All right, pal.
Come on, Delbert.
God, what the hell's he doing there, Russell Wilson? Is he lost?
What do you mean?
No, he signed with the Giants.
He's the quarterback of the Giants.
I like him there. I don't like Russell Wilson. I'm not a fan.
Oh, no, me neither.
No way.
Me neither. Ever since that incredible play.
Hand the ball off, bro. Hand the ball off. All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Glad you're in. Everybody in the chat, welcome on in. Let's do some sports. Then we'll do some news. We'll start with sports. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. My Pillow. If you're going to shop for Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, any holiday you have coming up in your life, great stuff over at My Pillow. Check out everything they have. I love that new Rev 7 Energy. Well, I haven't tried it, but my son.
You love it. He loves it.
It's great packaging.
Well, I love that he loves it.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
And everybody I've spoken to has tried it, and except for, of course, Delgado, who hasn't tried it yet.
I haven't tried it.
Well, why haven't you ordered it, Delgado? Order it.
So
I'm waiting. He said he was going to get more.
Check Rev 7 at My Pillow. Slick's got sports. What's going on, Slick?
All right, Big D. We got to get to the scoreboard real quick. Stanley Cup playoffs. Boy, what a game. The Hurricanes score 3 unanswered goals to tie the Devils at 4 at the end of 2 periods. Heading to the third, could be the last period for the Devils this year as they trail 3 games to 1, 4, and they're out. So Hurricanes looking to close it out. I thought the Devils would at least hold on, but they had that dreaded 3-goal lead, and they could not. 4-4 there. Wild taking on the Golden Knights, 9:30 puck drop. That'll be out in Las Vegas. That series, good one. Tied at 2. Game 5 coming up. Again, 9:30 puck drop. Oilers and taking on the Kings. Another good series. Tied at 2 as well. Pivotal game here. This is the linchpin game at 10 p.m. as well. Take the NBA. Good game in the Garden tonight. Back and forth. Every time it looks like Detroit's going to pull away, the Knicks come roaring back. Right now, Pistons lead the game right now, 73-72. 141 to go in the third. The Magic, 36-28 over the Celtics. 8 to go there in the second. Clippers take on the Nuggets. That's a 10 p.m. tip-off there. That series is tied at 2. Celtics looking to close it out. Magic looking to hang on there. And big one, thriller at the end there. Final tonight, Big D. The Pacers are moving on to the second round. They have defeated Milwaukee 119-118 in OT. Nike accused of making light of Holocaust with London Marathon ad. Nike apologized in a statement to media outlet. This is Ryan Gatos of Fox News reporting. Nike came under fire on Monday for a billboard that was shown at the end of the London Marathon. The sign read, "Never again until next year." It featured black lettering on top of a red background. However, the company, who already faced scrutiny during the week over reports of its alleged funding of a child transgender athlete study, received backlash for using a slogan that had ties to the Holocaust. The slogan has been used to warn the world to learn lessons from the Holocaust, in which Nazi Germany and their allies killed 6 million Jews, according to the Times of Israel. Pershing Square CEO Bill Ackman led the criticism of Nike. The idea that at Nike would make light of the Holocaust using Hitler-read imagery in a post-October 7th world is stunning, he wrote on X. Heads need to roll. WTF Nike. Rabbi David Schusselberg weighed in on X as well. The Nike advertisement was displayed at the end of the London Marathon, he wrote on X. To take a slogan about the Holocaust and use it for entertainment is simply grotesque. Nike, just don't do it. So just a really strong story there, Biggie. And Nike, of course, gave a Fox statement earlier today, a statement to Fox Digital. "We did not mean any harm and sincerely apologize for any we caused," the company said. "The London billboards were part of a broader campaign built on runners' insights and designed to motivate runners to push past what they think is possible." Nike condemns any form of anti-Semitism. The language should not have been used, and the billboards have come down. The company also issued a statement to the Forward on Monday apologizing for the sign. Who'd they hire? The girl from Budweiser who did the old Dylan campaign?
Our woke media department signed off on it. We apologize.
That is just, right, exactly. So terrible. And just lighten it up a little with one more story. White House jokingly credits President Trump for stopping Shedeur Sanders' draft slide. This is Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt joked earlier Monday's presser that the president can be credited with Shedeur Sanders' fifth-round NFL draft pick. Sanders certainly had a nail-biting draft last weekend, with so many talking heads in sports media predicting that son of Colorado head coach Deion Sanders would be a quick pick in the first round. The young player was disappointed to find that his name was not called at all, as expected. Big D was on it, though. He knew better. Then came another disappointment. The second round, you were right. You were right. Came and went, and he was left out again. Indeed, his name wasn't called until the fifth round, when the Cleveland Browns finally decided to pick him up. Many were stunned when Sanders was repeatedly snubbed, and no one was more shocked than President Donald Trump, who scolded the NFL's fans for not picking Sanders. They picked Trump, all right. Consequently,
do you think Sanders was more upset about not hearing his name to the fifth round, or actually when he heard it in the team that picked it, he thought, maybe I should have gone to the sixth?
Oh, my God, yeah. Cleveland is the place to go for all quarterbacks, basically, to die. I mean, really, yeah. It's just one of the worst. Listen, great history of the team. Man, they won the championship the year I was born when they had Jim Brown back in the day, but that team hasn't been even to a Super Bowl.
Jim Brown.
In 60
Long
years.
Island's Jim Brown.
Yeah, Manhasset.
Manhasset Indians. By the way, Manhasset Indians.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes,
Massapequa
right.
Indians, Manhasset Indians, too.
Yep.
They changed the name in Manhasset. They had a whole big thing, and it's called Set.
Yep.
Manhasset Set, and it was the Manhasset Indians. And that's the tribe.
Yeah. And Massapequa was hanging on to the name Chiefs, but they're hanging on by a small margin there. The president was out there for them.
Chiefs or Warriors? I thought they were Warriors.
Chiefs.
They were Chiefs.
Massapequa was the Chiefs.
Okay. And I'm
Thank
glad
you,
to
Aaron.
see on that story about the NFL, attitude does matter. In pro sports now, it just seems like this is so much money. There's so much garbage going on.
These NIL
that
deals
this was the entitlement and attitude this kid has shown that they clearly made a statement.
I saw a story earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I think they made a statement that they don't think he's a football leader. The NFL's got every rapist, abuser. There's no standard in the NFL of hiring some kid with an arrogant attitude.
Just ask Shannon Sharpe.
That makes it worse.
They got guys throwing girls around in elevators. They got rapists. They got abusers. They got all kinds of guys.
But not at the draft. At the draft, they are a little more selective. You have that in your background, the draft. How many guys who rape someone, you see being drafted or having those problems in college?
If they stay away from
that's a character flaw.
Yeah. If they thought that kid could win 16 games in a row, they wouldn't give what he had, what he said, what he wore, what he smoked. Nothing.
Is this kid that bad that he's a fifth-round pick?
You know what?
Or is
He's
he good?
not that bad. What I think really did him in is, we heard the story about how he approached the Giants interview, right? Mm-hmm. Where he didn't prep for it because he didn't want to play for the Giants.
He tanked it.
Well, he didn't do that for just the Giants. He did that for any team. I guess there were certain teams he just didn't think he wanted to play for. So I'm sorry, but if you go into an interview tanking that interview, you don't think they're going to the people talk? These guys, that's a very small world.
Yeah.
All these GMs talk.
That's attitude.
Like, how did he do in the interview? He wasn't prepared. He didn't do this. Nothing.
Yep.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Because you have to look at every single one of these job interviews as just that. Like, hey, this could be the team that actually wants me. I got to make sure I show them everything I've got. If you're just going, well, I don't really want to play for this team. This is the team I'm going to focus on. And what if that team doesn't even want you?
I know.
Or they heard bad stuff about you. They're like, I'm not even going to bring this kid in now to talk to him because I already heard what this guy said and this guy said. If he thinks he's too good for New York, we don't want any part of it. You know what I mean?
I do. Arrogance and attitude right there.
I think that was part of, and I think it was I think his younger brother said Shiloh, right? That's his name, Shiloh? Yeah. He was signed to a deal after the draft. He said as soon as the draft was over, he hired an agent. He said, I don't think hiring my dad was a good move.
No, not exactly.
He admitted it.
You know, when the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't pick him, when they passed on him, that's when I realized there was something going on there at 21 because they needed a quarterback and they let it go. So that's when you realized something was up. But
and not only that, but Tomlin would have, I think he would have commanded the respect that this kid needed to see.
Yeah, well,
That's probably right.
Yep, that's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Let's do some news. Rick Delgado's got it. News is brought to you by our friends at EternalLifeCoin.com. One word, EternalLifeCoin.com. Go check it out. It's a great piece. It's a great gift for Mother's Day, even for mothers who are believers, spiritual, religious, whatever. It's a great, great piece. Someone who's maybe dealing with problems, suffering, or maybe someone who just wants something to hold on to that they feel like they have a connection to. EternalLifeCoin.com. Check them out. Free shipping with code LFS6B. Rick Delgado, what's going on?
Well, I don't know if you heard this. I guess in the first 100 days, it just happened today, I guess.
What's this?
But Donald Trump had mentioned, of course, we know that the Pope has passed.
Yeah.
And he was asked about who he would like to see as the new Pope.
Okay.
I guess he's not above trying to take on just about any job. Here it is, cut number 15.
No. Oh, come on.
Cut number 15. Here's Donald Trump about who he thinks would be a great new Pope. Cut 15.
As Pope? I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice. No, I don't know. I have no preference. I must say we have a cardinal that happens to be out of a place called New York who's very good. So we'll see what happens.
He's great.
I'd like to be Pope.
I would.
I'd be my number one choice. Oh, my God.
It's your favorite Pope.
The shoe fits. It's a whole
I'm here at the
different type of
Vatican.
hat.
You can't make it up.
Yeah.
Let me see that one more time, Aaron.
It's
As Pope? I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice. No, I don't know. I have no preference. I must say we have a cardinal that happens to be out of a place called New York.
They'll call that Maca, make Catholicism great again.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. Oh, man.
I'd like to be. Have you seen my garbage truck? I mean, these lines. There should be a T-shirt with all of these lines.
He's priceless.
Oh, man.
So I thought that was a good one. I'd like to be Pope. I'd be my number one choice.
Oh, my God.
Anyhow, of course, people from his administration are out there, Scott Bessent being one of them. But here's Kevin O'Leary, cut number 1, as he has to explain, as well, only Kevin O'Leary can, the difference between taxes and tariffs and why the left is so stupid. Cut number 1. Check it out for yourself.
All these leaders to tariffs. I'm saying you're opposed to taxes, and tariffs are taxes.
Taxes are permanent. Tariffs are a negotiating weapon. Why is every leader of every country in Europe showing up in Washington every week? They want to cut a deal. You don't like the fact that in 9 weeks we don't have a deal? No administration's ever tried to cut 60 deals at once. All you need to do is pen one. Just pen one, whether it's India or EU or Britain, whatever it is, and that becomes the hallmark of all the rest. That's that stack. And then let's settle with China, because that's a different story. And I love the fact that Xi's getting his head squeezed like a teenage pimple right now. I'm good with that.
Yeah. O'Leary's on it.
Yes.
He's so on it.
The whole time he's been on it.
It's just what we said before. Make one. If it's India, Lutnick says there's a deal done. Done. And now they're waiting for the prime minister and whatever. And if it's India, fine, whatever it is. The game of musical chairs, the music starts to get faster at that point for everybody. You want a chair in this circle? You better find one. First one to find it is going to get the next good deal. Because when the music stops, you don't want to be left going, bumping into your friends, standing around. You want a chair. And that's coming.
I love O'Leary, and I love him for this reason. He goes on everywhere, okay? He's not like he's on Fox, he's on CNN, he's on MSLSD. But he's surrounded by people who have no clue what they're talking about. Right. They have no understanding of what any of this means. They don't understand the problem at all in any way, small, big, medium. He does, and he just chews them up and provides an explanation that everybody can get their arms around. Yeah. He's great.
With logic.
He's such a great guy, isn't he?
Sense, yeah.
And he knows what he's doing.
Yep. All right, we'll wrap it up with Vinnie Mac, Rick Delgado, Slick Rick, all three coming up. Aaron and Fran holding it down on a Tuesday live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
guy for real?
3-0. This Nick game is going back and forth.
Everybody's in favor of Trump to be Pope. I love it. I love it. It's just, it's such a great piece of his sense of humor, isn't it? Yeah. To just say that. I mean, it's funny. This will be headlines.
I'd be my first choice. That's the line right there.
Why not?
I'd like to be.
Why not me? Yeah. Oh, man. A lot of good vibes, too, with Mr. Wonderful. Is a real business guy. He knows what he's talking about, and they have nothing when he's on there. They can't BS their way through it and create all this like.
You are not winning with him a debate.
No,
no way.
He just knows his stuff, though. I mean,
they must look at him coming on the show. Oh my God, nah, not him.
Yeah, he says it like it is. If he disagrees, he disagrees. He's also been ripped off by China.
Yeah, he sure has.
Like every business in this country probably has in some way, shape, or form.
We all have. Crazy.
Yeah, that's why we're always hungry an hour later, because they ripped us off.
That's right.
Now, I do like Chinese food. It's one of my favorite foods. And you can't get good Chinese, though, outside of New York. Maybe California, maybe L.A. and San Francisco.
Look at this game, Rick, huh?
Oh.
Yeah, it's tied up. Fourth quarter. Nick time.
Detroit's got to be like, what do we got to do to lose these guys? They just can't. They can't. Every time they get a little bit of a lead, they blow it. Look at this. What a bad pass that is.
And then he stopped the show. Charlie has to do a near run. Okay. I will pause.
Yeah, they're playing good ball. The Knicks
right now.
I think they could be. I think they could beat Boston. The Knicks.
They have not done well with them during the regular season, which means they got a shot in the playoffs. Like, this is when things change.
Speaking of Boston.
Well, Orlando's beating them up pretty good.
Look at this game. Back and forth. What a great game.
Oh, yeah. It's been a great series, by the way. Every game.
It has. I mean, the Knicks have pretty much come out on a W every game except for one, but still, it's...
Every game's been good.
It's been a tight game.
The Orlando-Boston series is 2-1 Boston or 3-1 Boston?
3-1 Boston.
Is it 2-1 or 3-1?
I think it's 3-1.
It's 3-1, and they're playing at home.
3-1. That series is over. 3-1, it's always over.
And Indiana ended it tonight. They beat Milwaukee.
Yep, in OT, baby. 119, 118.
That series is over.
Make the Vatican great again.
4 games to 1. Now nobody can hit a shot here. You see this now?
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. There's nothing I like more than an old infighting in the Democrat Party created by themselves, and that's exactly what's happening right now over at the DNC.
Yeah.
See, they should have gone with, oh, you gonna remember the old singer there? What's her name? They should have gone with her because they went with David Hogg instead. Remember that wussy David Hogg there?
How was he in power?
He thought he was going to open a pillow company and do all kinds of stuff, this kid.
Yeah. My Hogg.
Well, big scoop tonight after he basically took power at the DNC and then immediately started speaking out against the DNC and how they were going to elect their candidates. Well, DNC could vote tonight to oust David Hogg. We'll hear a challenge next month by a Native American DNC member who lost the vice chair race and wants a new election, citing fairness and gender diversity rules. So we're going to try to get rid of David Hogg because we have a Native American DNC member who lost the vice chair race and now wants a new election, citing fairness and gender diversity rules. In other words, the DNC was saying, how do we get rid of this little punk kid? Hey, go tell what's her name to claim diversity and inclusion, and we'll have a new race, and we'll get him out.
Can't lose with that, can you?
So this is clearly going to be an inside job of getting rid of Hogg and getting I guess Elizabeth Warren in.
Is that who they're going to try?
Well, I don't know. They just said Native American, so I don't know.
Just assume her.
Just assuming
she's first in line.
Right. Got to be her, right? So
got to be.
It's good for us, though. We want David Hogg in there. We want AOC to be their nominee. These complete losers that would never win a national election or have any effect in a national election. Hogg will take them even further backwards.
I mean, Hogg goes on these shows and starts talking about how we need we're going to elect we don't like the candidates we've had. We're going to start and the DNC Rob Emanuel and others are going. James Carville's going. What?
I don't think
you're going to do what?
He wants to primary all their It's like, wait.
He does.
Yeah.
He probably will.
Yeah, maybe not. So
I don't think.
Vinnie Mac, what else is on your mind tonight?
Well, two things. Impeachment. Can you believe this word impeachment's being floated around again?
Oh, did you see the SNL cold open the other day?
I did not see that. Do you have
the
it?
guy?
Sri Thanetter?
Rick tells me it's actually not the SNL cold open, that it was a real congressman, but I don't know if I saw
Sri Thanetter.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, that's not an SNL cold open. That's an actual guy.
Really?
Who, it looks like a comedy. It smells like a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not really that. The thing is, impeachment used to be such a strong word for resolving something really bad that has occurred with a politician, particularly a president. It was used only in extreme circumstances and rarely. With Trump, it's literally they wake up in the morning and they say, "We don't agree with you. We're going to impeach you." It's the opposite of how impeachment is supposed to be processed. And what really kind of gets my steams my clams, as Kevin Downey Jr. would say, is that if we didn't have the House and Senate, this actually would have legs.
Oh, 100%.
This would go, and they'd call it whatever they would call it. I don't even know what this guy's talking about. Abuse of power.
He had 7 points.
I think I've got a few.
It will have legs next year, by the way, if they take the House.
He's unfit to serve as president and represents a clear and present danger to our nation's constitution and our democracy. His unlawful acts have subverted the justice system. Wait. Do you mean the same justice system that a judge hid an illegal criminal from being taken by the federal authorities? That criminal justice system. So here we are, and I guess the overall theme of this is the left has desensitized everything to the point where they're just household words now. Oh, let's just impeach him. Impeach. Someone else put it through. So that's got me going. And the last thing that's got me going is China. You know, I've been big on some of my concerns with China. And there was something that came out of Fox Business today that said China is exhibiting end of regime conduct, which basically is what they're saying is Xi has a lot to lose here. And he's already sold through that he's not going to cave to Trump. There's a lot of stuff where he's bought the farm on completely, and he's going to look bad. And we all know this whole sort of Chinese thing where you lose face, you know, the whole lose face, the big face thing.
Commit to Harry
Carry. That's Japan.
Yeah. So in a positive way, they're panicking. They're trying to strong arm a lot of folks. They're threatening people, countries, et cetera, et cetera. They're putting out all kinds of, nonsense through the media as well. So they are panicking a bit. On a more serious note, if Xi gets backed into a corner and he can't get out, what really does happen? Is it regime change? Do they start a war? Do they do something more dramatic? So I've got my eye on China. I have concern with China for those very reasons. They want to save face. They can't give in to Trump, but they certainly can attack Taiwan. These types of things are like real issues that I think are percolating for a country that is going to want to both save face and has nowhere else to go. Trump has basically put them in a corner. He's got to give them a way out. I guess is we have to win this, but he has to give them a way out.
All right, Vin. Very good. Slick, give me a quick rundown here in sports, and then Del got a little more news, and we'll wrap it up here. Slick, what else is going on?
All right, NHL playoffs right now. Game 5, Devils and Hurricanes tied at 4, 8 to go there in the third. Devils looking to extend their season. They're down 3-1. Wild and Golden Knights just underway. No score there. 18 to go in the first. And Knicks and Pistons in a good game. Knock them out, drag it 86-85. And Pistons also fighting for their playoff lives with 7 to go there in the fourth. Plenty of time in the Garden. Magic lead the Celtics 49-43 at 42 and a half seconds in the third. And earlier tonight, the Pacers over the Bucks, 119-118. Just want to mention this story. You know I carried this story earlier last year. Hockey player involved in death of Adam Johnson will not face charges. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. Matt Petgrave, the hockey player involved in the on-ice death of American hockey star Adam Johnson, will not face charges for the incident that led to his death. The Crown Prosecution Services, CPS, declined to press charges, even though Petgrave was arrested on suspicion of manslaughter following the freak collision in a British Hockey League game on October 18th that led to Johnson's death. On that fateful night, Petgrave's skate hit Johnson's neck and slit his throat, leading to a fatal bleed. Petgrave was not arrested immediately after the incident. Instead, South Yorkshire police arrested him 2 weeks later without publicly revealing his identity. However, after Petgrave launched a crowdfunding campaign to pay his legal fees, it became clear that he had been arrested. Obviously, they're not going to, looks like they're not going to be pursuing this Big D. No charges there. So, stunning story there, because that really did not look good. But I guess they did the investigation, Neil. That's a wrap in sports, though.
All right, very good, Slick. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use at checkout at MyPillow. Delgado, give me a little more news.
All right. Well, one of Trump's favorite spokespeople is out there. Of course, Scott Besson is his name. Mentioned him earlier. Here he is crushing that media narrative over and over again. And this is what the administration continues to do. From Stephen Miller to Caroline Leavitt, now Scott Besson doing it here in cut number 12, where he crushes their narrative over the stock market. Check this out, cut 12.
When I look at some of the things that are being published, there was a story 10 days ago that said this is the worst April for the stock market since the Great Depression. 10 days later, the NASDAQ is now up in the month of April, and I haven't seen a story that says, oh, stock market has biggest bounce back ever. So
it certainly has gone back and forth.
I think a lot of this is media driven.
Yeah. Certainly has got to say something negative quick.
It goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Of course it does. And that's the thing. That's what they don't want to tell you. Oh, by the way, it's back up. The sky isn't falling. Damn it.
She's the one who said, only a few El Salvadorian gangs have taken over complexes in
not many.
In Colorado. J.D. Vance, at the time, Senator Vance, only a few. Yeah. He had to say, Martha, listen to yourself. What? That's the standard? Only a few?
Yeah.
All right, as always, we salute our military, active and active, police, firefighters, first responders, all emergency personnel. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron, Frank, great job as always. Most of all, thank you to live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll be at the America First Warehouse. 2 more before we get to Friday. We'll see you then, live from Studio 6B.